All right, everyone, welcome to today's Cabral Concept. We're going to kick off the week with a brand new topic, one that I've been looking forward to bringing you, and that is the power of saying no to many things in life that enables you to say yes to what you do want, as well as the power of having no opinion. Now, it may seem kind of strange to say, sometimes you just shouldn't have an opinion. What does that even mean? Well, the goal is this. The goal is non-judgment. So we learn this from an early age, oftentimes from the religion we're studying or, just being a good person, not judging others. But truthfully in life, our human brain is absolutely wired to judge. This is good or this is bad. And it does that from the limbic part of the brain in order to keep us safe. So bad means stay away, avoid, or be ready to confront, right? And good is, I feel safe and I can relax my nervous system, right? I don't have to be on guard all the time. So that served us very well, and it still serves us well to today. Sometimes that spidey sense starts to tingle, and we say, something just doesn't feel right here. You should listen to that. Like, without a doubt, maybe there is something off. Maybe there's not. Maybe there's just pattern recognition from something that happened in the past. But you absolutely do want to listen to those animalistic-based instincts. However, the problem is that we now take in so much information from the environment, more than we ever have before. Now, when I say that, I want to take a little step back. We've always taken in information from our surroundings and nature. But with nature, we know what to expect, right? To almost 100% certainty. So people who lived on the land and they lived outside, they knew when a storm was coming. They knew they got used to that in nature. Nothing was overly wild. It was the humans, right, that they had to be more careful of. Okay, but here's something stronger. Think about this. 100 years ago, we maybe had newspapers and certain ways to consume information, but you had to look for it, right? You had to go after it. That's the truth, right? Now, we can't avoid it. There is just so much information. And so we are forced to constantly say, yes, I like this. No, this is bad. I don't like them. I like this person. I like this idea. I don't like that idea. And you start to just become, you set up your own team, your own, way of thinking, your own dogma, so strong and deeply rooted without being able to go deep on the particular topic and knowledge base. So what I found, and one of the best things that I'm sharing right now as what I call more lifestyle-based medicine, is the power of having no opinion and simply saying no to judgment. I don't need to judge this good or bad. I have no opinion on it because I'm deciding not to go deep to see if there's even any truth to it. Think about this. You're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you're on any social media platform, whatever, it's LinkedIn, it could be anything. And you read an article and you're like, that's crazy. And you start to think that's a terrible thing. They shouldn't do that. You don't even know if it's true. And again, I'm not saying you, all of us. So because I know from experience, I will be, letting myself just scroll mindlessly for a moment on Instagram, and I'm on the Explorer and something pops up. I actually just said this to our IHPs the other day, and they're like, the top tips to, and they gave a recommendation on this one specifically, was on gut health. And the recommendations they gave were mildly at best true. What they were really trying to do was incite a reaction, which would then allow more people to comment and watch their video, which then gets more people to follow them, right? Because you have to be controversial for all these people out there in order to get their, follower count up, which is what a lot of people's goal is, to be an influencer and to get more eyeballs on them. And I get it. But we look at it as this is truth. Well, it may or may not be. And what I found is that everything is nuanced. Sure, this is true in this particular circumstance, right? And I found that across the board, whether it's career advice, health advice, body transformation advice, relationship advice, spiritual advice, whatever it is. Okay, we have to understand is what context are we putting this in? So we should not start judging. And the reason is, unless we want to get nuanced on what this is, there are not enough minutes and time in the day. What I found is that we can scroll and enjoy the technology, but not put a whole lot of weight in it. And then when there is something that we want to go deeper on, we can do that. But not necessarily saying good or bad, yes or no, oh, this fits my dogma or it doesn't. Just enjoy it for what it is, which is really entertainment. It's information, but it's more, infotainment. It's not legitimate what we're seeing. And so what I also ask my clients to do too is refocus where you actually want to put your energy, put your mindset, and actually work a process and take action. So, for example, when you're scrolling through something and you want to comment right away, it's taking emotion and energy from you. Do you really need to do that? Right? Do you really need to get in this argument? And it's oftentimes people who, if they had a conversation with each other, they would find that they agree on 80%, maybe more, and just not on the small amount. Okay, but they never get to have that conversation and it just becomes a shouting match and no one's ever going to win, right? That's the way that it is. But you always leave feeling more exhausted and it wastes your time. So what I say instead is when you disagree with a topic or you want to make real change, don't judge the person, don't judge the topic, but begin to take action. Many years ago, I heard a phrase, I wish I could attribute it to exactly the individual who made it up, but that action beats anxiety. Every day of the week. So whenever you're feeling anxious or worried or judging something, try to take action on what it is that you're worried about. Let's give you an example. If you are worried because you say, I just can't seem to lose the weight, I want to transform my body and all of these things. All right, we can worry about that. And we can begin to place judgment on the program we're on, or, other people are able to lose the weight. I'm not able to lose the weight, all whatever it might be. I totally get it. I understand. I spent 10 years trying to get well, and all these people told me they could help me get well. I read all these books saying, here's how you do it to get well, and I still didn't get well. So I understand what you're saying. But you can, right? I eventually got well. Why? I got the right information. That's why I had to stop kind of judging everything and be like, what is true? Right? Where's the overlap? Oh, I'm not following the overlap. I'm following the fringes, right? I'm following the outer edges. That's never going to be the answer, right? All these fringe diets are never going to be the answer. It's the overlap that's always correct. All right, but I digress. So when we're looking at body transformation and we're getting anxious about it, what do we need to do? Let's go for a walk, right? We're burning calories. We're calming the nervous system. We're bringing the blood glucose levels back. Small actions. Actions always beat anxiety. Then we have a far clearer head. All right. You're worried about your kids' school. You don't necessarily like what they're teaching. You don't like the curriculum. You're worried about this, that. Begin to have your own parent-based committee or join the committee inside of the school where real change can be made. Allow your voice to be heard in a constructive way. What about you're worried about your health? Let's say you have a low thyroid-based issue. Okay, what can we do? Again, worried about it, reading all this information online, don't know who's correct. Let's go deeper. Who has been helping thyroid-based clients or patients for over a decade with information that truly works? Great. If there's multiple people, let's read their information. What do they say? Where's the overlap? What are they all talking about? Oh, elevated levels of cortisol can begin to lower thyroid function. Lower levels of zinc or iodine or even vitamin E or B6 can begin to lower iodine. Oh, okay, interesting. So begin to lower thyroid. So when we look at this, we can say, here's what we can do. We could run an at-home lab test that will give the exact answers. We can take a thyroid course. We can begin to read this person's book on this. You can just start to take action. I don't know the answer right now. It's making me anxious, making me worried, feeling overwhelmed, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the next step, right? So we're going to take that action. You're worried about your parents' overall health. Well, what can you do? Right? What can you do? Do something. If their vitamin D3 levels are low, send them a bottle of vitamin D3, right? Simple step that we can do, just helps with one thing, vitamin D. Is it going to be the whole answer? No, but it's that next little step, right? Urge them to get their big 5 at-home labs done. Or even just start with the starter kit, the vitamin tox test. Do that, or just again run a full blood panel. But you don't want to do things that you can't find answers to. So I don't often say hey, you should go run all this, because if you don't have someone qualified in order to be able to tell you what to do, then the numbers are just more scary than anything. So you work with an integrative health practitioner, which we have no affiliation, their businesses. You can work with any one of them at integrativehealthpractitioner.org. Amazing talented individuals all over the world. Again, totally separate from anything I do. I just teach. And, or you can work with my team, and that's over at Equalife. So your choice, always your choice, but we can begin to move in that direction. Another big thing that I like to always talk about is education as well. So you want to change your career. Well, first, what do you want to do? If you don't know what you want to do, I gave a great book recommendation just a couple of weeks back, and the book was called, I think, I Could Do Anything If Only I Knew What It Was. I'll try to link it up again here today, or at least that podcast at 3286. That's today's episode. But you start to just move in that direction. Well, let me figure it out that I enjoy. Oh, and I enjoy, again, I'm just going back to my field, health coaching. Let's say, okay, I really enjoy health coaching. So then you'll search out then, how can I become a health coach? And then after that, you might go through a health coaching certification. And then after that, you'll start to set up a part-time business, and you'll transition from whatever job it is that you have right now that you don't necessarily love to doing what you do love. But it's all by saying no to all of the noise that's making you anxious and distracting you, because a lot of this is just distraction. It is information overload. We don't need all of these tidbits and pseudo facts. What we need to know is what matters to us, what matters to our family, extended family, our coworkers, our community, our church, like anything that we value. That's what matters, like our people, right? And then after that, once we get good at something, once we learn something, we should teach. And that is then a service you provide to others. And now you don't even have time for all the scrolling, all the different things, because you are now acting in service to others, and your time gets spent on that service, teaching what once you wanted to know. And ultimately, what I found is that some of the happiest people I know, they're too busy to take in even all the outside world. It doesn't necessarily exist to them in the same way that it does for others. So when they're asked, what do you think about this? They're like, I don't really know. Or I don't have an opinion on this, right? I'll say that over and over simply because I found what I want to do. I want to obviously take care of my family, but I have a service that I want to provide to the world. And you can do this on many different levels. And it allows me then to stay so focused, I don't have time to always form an opinion on all the other things that are necessarily going on in life. Some people say that's okay. Some people say it's not okay. But remember, what really matters is what works for you. Hopefully today's show was helpful. For all today's show notes and links, head on over to stephencabral.com/3286. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.